This is Night Pre-Trip Study Guide. When approaching your truck, you're checking for leaks, leans, and lights, oil, water, fuel, cracked headlights. Clearance lights, amber in color, clean and working, not cracked or broken. Hood mirror is not damaged, mounted, and secured. Headlights clean and working, not cracked or broken, and no condensation. Looking for leaks on the ground, look for dripping fluid off the underside of the engine and transmission. Open the hood compartment and move to the passenger side. Coolant reservoir is properly mounted and secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Coolant level is proper level and not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Hoses are not leaking. Clamps are tight. Water pumps not cracked, damaged, or leaking, properly mounted and secure. It is belt driven. Belt is not cut or frayed, no more than a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch of play. Frame is not cracked or bent, no illegal welds or drill holes. Power steering pump. It is not cracked, damaged, or leaking, and it is properly mounted and secured, and it is gear driven. Air compressors. Not cracked, damaged, or leaking, and properly mounted and secured, and it is gear driven. Power steering reservoir. Not cracked, damaged, or leaking, and properly mounted and secured, and full to the proper level. Oil level, full, with no water or metal shavings in it. Engine oil dipstick reads above add mark and in safe operating range. Alternator, properly mounted and secure, no missing bolts, and it is belt driven. The belt is not cut, frayed, or no more than 1/2 to 3/4 inch of play. Power steering gearbox, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Power steering hoses, not cracked, damaged, or leaking, and properly mounted and secured. Power steering gearbox hoses, not cracked, damaged, or leaking, and properly mounted and secured. Steering linkage, U-joints, properly mounted and secured, not loose or broken. Steering linkage is not bent or missing crown nuts or cotter pins. Front and back leaf spring hangers, not cracked, damaged, or any missing bolts. Leaf springs, not cracked, damaged, or scissored. U-bolts and saddles properly mounted and secured to the axle, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Shock absorbers, properly mounted and secured to the frame and not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Hoses, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Brake chamber, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Brake chamber clamp, properly mounted and secured, no loose or missing clamps. Push rod not bent or damaged should be at about 90-degree angle to the slack adjuster if properly adjusted. Slack adjuster properly mounted and secured. There should be no more than 1 inch of free play with brakes released and wheels chalked. Brake drum not cracked, damaged, no oil or debris, no color change which would indicate overheating. Brake shoes not cracked, damaged, or oil soaked, and no less than 1/4 inch of pad left on shoes. Steer tires, sidewalls with no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Tires, even tread wear. Steer tires, depth no less than 4/32, also checked with a gauge. Wheels, no damage to bead or bent. Wheels not bent, damaged, and no spider web cracks between vent holes and lug nut holes. No illegal welds. Valve stem inflation 100 psi or manufacturer's specification. Check with a gauge. Not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Must have a metal cap. Lug nuts not loose, damaged, or missing. No rust trails or shiny threads to indicate looseness. Hub seal properly mounted and secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Oil level is adequate. Now close the hood. Check steps into the cab of the battery box behind the step door and is secured. Connections, no corrosion, batteries not damaged or leaking. Battery connection shows no excessive corrosion. Batteries are secured. Connections are tight and secured. No corrosion. Batteries are not damaged or leaking. Driver door, mirror and mounting brackets is not damaged and properly mounted and secured. Check the door. Open and closes tightly. Window goes up and down. Hinges is not bent or damaged. Door seal not damaged and is a tight fit. Emergency equipment, fire extinguisher properly mounted and secured, fully charged. Minimum BC10 rating if hauling hazmat. 3 triangles in working condition, not cracked or damaged. Spare fuses or breakers if needed. This time I'm going to grab my chalk block, put it underneath the tire for doing my air brake test. All right, Mr. Examiner, can you help me with my light test? Start your in-cab inspection. Check internal lights. Operation ask examiner to assist you in the light check. Front of the truck check. 4 ways, flashers, right turn signal, left turn, marker lights, headlights, high and low beams. Next, the tractor side turn and 4 ways. Ask the examiner to go to the rear of the tractor. And the clearance light on top of the trailer. Right turn, left turn, brake lights, marker lights, 4 ways. And your running lights or tail lights. Side of the trailer for yellow marker lights and turn signal and 4 ways. On the way back, have the examiner check your ABS light by turning the key off and back on and the marker light. Your clearance lights on the rear of the trailer. Tail lights. The rear of the trailer, right turn, left turn, brake lights, marker lights, four-way flasher. Then have the examiner enter the truck and complete your in-cab and air brake test.
All right, Mr. Examiner, I'm going to put my seatbelt on. Can you put yours on? While I'm doing that, what I'm checking for that it latches, unlatches, and latches in. Checking for any kind of tears, rips, or frays into it, and it's adjusted for my liking. Next, I'm doing my windows. My windows are properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, damaged, or broken, or leaking. Do not have any illegal stickers onto it. Next, I'm going to look at my windshield. My windshield is properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, damaged, or broken, or leaking, and also does not have any illegal stickers. I'm going to get back to it, but I'm going to look at my windshield wipers right now. My windshield wipers are a nice, tight fit to the windshield, and the blades are not torn, ripped, or frayed. Next, I'm going to look at my mirrors. My mirrors are properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, damaged, or broken, and they're adjusted for my liking. Mr. Examiner, I'm going to do a safe start. I am in neutral. My brakes are set. My foot on the brake. Start it up. My ABS lights come on and went off. I'm looking at my oil pressure. My oil pressure is on the rise and adequate for this truck. Right above that is my temperature gauge. My temperature gauge is on the rise and adequate for this truck. It's in between 180 and 200 degrees. Next is my voltage. It's in between 12 and 14. Mine is at 13.9. Next is my air pressure gauges. My air pressure is in between 120 to 140 psi. Adequate enough to do an air brake test. Coming out. My dash lights come on, go off. My four-ways. My left turn signal. My right turn signal. My bright lights. My windshield washers and wipers. My highway horn. City horn. On a 20-inch wheel, I should not have more than 2 inches of free play or 10 degrees. 2 complete turns. 1, 2. From there, I'm going to look at my defrosters. They work. Down here, my heater. It works. All right, Mr. Examiner, I'm going to go into my air brake test. I'm going to turn my truck off, leave my truck in neutral, and turn my truck off. Turn my key back on, release my brakes, let that air settle down. I'm going to do an air leakage test. What that is, I'm going to hold my service brake down for 1 minute. I should not lose 4 psi in that 1 minute. I didn't lose more than 4 psi in that 1 minute, so that was a good test. My next test is going to be my low air pressure warning test. My lights and buzzers should come on at or before 60 psi. I'm going to fan my brakes. 1, 2, and 3. All three of them came on at 60 psi, so that was a good test. My next test is my emergency spring brake test, or automatic spring brake test. I'm going to fan my brakes again. My trailer will come out before my tractor, or they both come out at the same time. And that'll happen between 20 and 40 psi. One, two, they both popped out at 20 psi, so that was a good test. All right, Mr. Examiner, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and release my chalk block so I can do my air governor kick in and kick out, my parking brake test, and my service brake test. 3 points of contact going out. Shut my door. Three points of contact coming in. Redo my seat belt. I'm going to do a safe start. My brakes are set. My truck is in neutral. Start the truck. My ABS lights come on and went off. I'm going to rev this up to 1300 RPMs. My needles are moving, so my air governor kicked in. So my air governor kick out should be between 120 and 140 psi. My air governor kicked out. It's 120, 140 psi. That was a good test. Now I'm going to do my parking brake test. I'm going to put my truck in drive, release my trailer brake. I'm going to test my tractor brake. Give it a little tug. That was a good test. Set my trailer brake now, release my tractor brake, and give that a little tug. That's a good test. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to put my hands here at the 9 and 3 position. What that's going to test for is on my service brake test. I'm going to roll about 5 miles an hour. Apply my service brake test. What that'll test is to see if I'm having any pull on my brake chambers. If I have my ABS light come on my trailer or on my dash. If I do, I'll take it to the shop immediately and get it fixed. Roll about 5 miles an hour. My ABS light didn't come on my trailer or on my dash, but if it did, I would take it to the shop immediately and get it fixed. I also didn't feel any pull in my steering wheel, so all my brakes are set. That concludes the in-cab inspection here. Can you join me on the outside and continue on with my pre-trip?
When you're done with the inside cab and air brake test, check the side and rear of the tractor for no cuts and damage. Turn signal amber in color, clean and working condition, not cracked or broken. Back of the cab, the 4 reflectors not cracked, damaged, or missing rivets. Work light, properly mounted and secured, clean and working, not cracked or broken. Electric lines attached securely to the tractor with safety latch and not cracked, damaged, or frayed. Air lines not cracked, damaged, or leaking attached securely to the tractor. Airlines attached securely to the front of the trailer and not cracked, damaged, or leaking, or frayed. Electric lines attached securely to the front of the trailer with safety latch and not cracked, damaged, or frayed. Header board not damaged, no missing rivets. Steps properly mounted and secured, not damaged or missing bolts. Catwalk properly mounted and secured, not damaged or missing bolts. U-joints secured and free of debris. Drive shaft not cracked, bent, or damaged. Fuel tank. Fuel tank hangers are secured, not cracked or damaged. Tank hangers are secured, not cracked or damaged. Fuel cap is tight, no leaks from tank or fuel lines. Splash guard, not damaged and covers both wheels. Torque arm spring hangers, properly mounted and secured to the frame, not cracked or damaged or missing any bolts. Torque arm springs, not cracked, damaged, or scissored. U-bolts and saddles, properly mounted and secured to the axle, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Shock absorber, properly mounted and secured to the frame, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Airbags, properly mounted and secured to the frame, not cut, damaged, or leaking air. Airbags are properly mounted and secured to the frame, mounting bolts in place, not cracked or damaged. Brake hoses, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Brake chamber, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Brake chamber clamp, properly mounted and secured, no loose or missing clamps. Push rod, not bent or damaged, should be about 90-degree angle to slack adjuster if properly adjusted. Slack adjuster, properly mounted and secured, there should be no more than 1 inch of free play with brakes released and wheels chalked. Brake shoes, not cracked, damaged, or oil soaked, and no less than 1/4 inch pad left on the shoes. Brake drum, not cracked, damaged, no oil or debris, no color change, which would indicate overheating. Drive tires, sidewalls have no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, inflated to 100 psi or manufacturer specification. Check with a gauge. Drive tires, even tread wear. Tread depth, no less than 2/32, also checked with a gauge. Rims are bud wheels, evenly spaced, and no debris between them. No damage to the beads. Wheels not bent, damaged, or no spider webbed crack between vent holes and lug nut holes. No illegal welds. Lug nuts not loose, damaged, or missing. No rust trails or shiny threads to indicate looseness. Hub seal, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Valve stem, inflation 100 psi or manufacturer specifications. Checked with a gauge, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Also has a metal cap. Apron, no gap between the apron and skid plate, not cracked or damaged. The skid plate, no gap between the apron and skid plate, not cracked or damaged. The fifth wheel release arm is not bent or damaged and in the locked position. Sliding fifth wheel locking pins in locked position and not damaged. Fifth wheel base and frame is in proper mounting and secured, not cracked or damaged. All mounting bolts, nuts are properly mounted and secured and not cracked, damaged, or missing. Air actuator, look for cracked, damaged, or leaking and properly mounted and secured. Mud flaps, mounted secure and covers both tires, no more than 8 inches off the ground and no closer than 3 inches to the ground. Reflector tape. Reflector. Lights and reflectors not cracked, damaged, or missing, and proper color. Kingpin not bent or damaged. Locking jaw is completely around the kingpin, not cracked or damaged. Turn around and check the trailer frame. Cross beams, landing gear, properly mounted and secured, not damaged, no missing bolts or cracked welds. Your trailer, your frame, and cross beams. Landing pads are fully up. Crank handle in locked and in the cradle. Check that the fifth wheel is positioned properly so that the tractor frame will clear the landing gear during turns. Front and side of the trailer, no cracks, damage, or tears, no missing rivets or bolts. All marker lights, reflectors, turn signals, four-ways, not cracked, damaged, in proper color yellow. All marker lights and reflectors, turn signals, four-ways, not cracked, damaged, in proper color yellow. Side of the trailer, no crack, damaged, or tears, no missing rivets or bolts. Red and white reflector tape present and clean, at least 90% all the way around the trailer. Airlines, 18 inches off the ground, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Tandem release arm, not damaged and in the locked position. Sliding tandem is not damaged, locking pins in locked position. Leaf spring hanger, mounted and secured, not cracked, damaged, or no missing bolts. Leaf springs, not cracked, damaged, or scissored. U-bolts, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Tandem control arm, not cracked, damaged, or broken. Brake hoses, Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Brake chamber. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Brake chamber clamp. Properly mounted and secured. No loose or missing clamps. Push rod. Not bent or damaged, should be at about 90-degree angle to the slack adjuster if properly adjusted. Slack adjuster. Properly mounted and secured. There should be no more than 1 inch of free play with brakes released and wheels chalked. Brake shoes, not cracked, damaged, or oil soaked, and no less than 1/4 inch of pad left on shoes. Brake drum, not cracked, damaged, no oil or debris, no color change, which would indicate overheating. Tandem tire, sidewalls, has no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Inflated, 100 psi, manufacturer's spec. Check with a gauge. Tandem tires, even tread wear, no less than 2 30-seconds, also check with a gauge. Wheel has no damage to bead, not bent, damaged, and no spider web cracks between vent holes and lug nut holes, and no illegal welds. Rims are bud wheels, evenly spaced, and no debris between them. Lug nuts not loose, damaged, or missing. No rust trails or shiny threads. 2. Indicate looseness. Valve stems not cracked or damaged and has a metal cap. Hub seal properly mounted and secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Mud flaps mounted secured, covers both tires, no more than 8 inches off the ground and no closer than 3 inches to the ground. Door tie hook are present, not broken. ABS light, amber in color, clean and working, not cracked or broken. Marker light, red in color and working, not cracked or broken. Clearance lights, red in color, not cracked, damaged, or missing, clean and working. All lights, tail, brake, clearance lights, red in color, clean and working, not cracked or broken. DOT reflector tape is white, not damaged or missing. DOT reflector tape, red and white, not damaged or missing, 100% on the back. Door hinges and bolts, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Door seal is in place, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Latches, top and bottom, are latched properly. Door tie chains are secured and not missing. Doors not damaged, opens, closes, and latches properly. Tell the examiner you will check the right side as you did the left side, except for what is different on this side. The 3 exceptions. Your right turn signal, 4 ways, amber in color, and properly mounted and secured. Check 5th wheel safety release pin. Check your exhaust for crack, damage, or leaking, indicated by rust or black soot. Now think about what you may have missed before you tell the examiner you have finished. You can still catch and fix mistakes. Thank you.